Hola amigos, Kugumezami, and hello Leute. Welcome back to another episode of Catching Up with Ella. At the time of recording this video, it is June 23rd of 2026. I am one day away from turning 31. And yes, I'm a Cancer. Ironically, I waited a whole year to talk about what it's like to turn 30 because being 30 doesn't mean you feel 30. Being 30, the whole year I felt like I'm still 29. And so finally, now that I'm turning 31, I feel ready. I feel ready to talk about what I learned in my last 30 years of life and what it's like to approach 40. Essentially. For some context, I've actually attempted to make this video a couple of times. I have multiple 30-minute videos recorded on my drive, on my camera, and for some reason I just never felt right. Some of the videos were too emotional, like I legit started crying. Some of the videos were just too detached emotionally, and so I apologize for taking a long time, even though I feel like there was only one person commenting like, hey, when are you coming out with another video? And a couple of years ago, I think it was 2024, I posted a video titled, 30 before 30 or something like that. The reason I haven't followed up on that is because now that I'm 30 and I've been through some shit, I realized how young and how naive I was. I was really young when I was giving advice. And not that young people can't give good advice, but a lot of times the advice giving headspace is very analytical. Like you learn a lot of things from reading books, you learn a lot of things from observing the world, you learn a lot of things from intuiting. Whereas older people, when they give advice, it's from experience, it's from a lot of times failed lessons or failure. And so, though I am not against ever giving out advice, I'm a lot more conservative. I'm a lot more protective over what I say and don't say because, well, I want to preach what I practice. And the example that comes to mind is, I don't know if you guys follow her, but this influencer called Wizard Liz. She's kind of known in a dating advice, manifestation advice sphere on the internet. She has multiple millions of followers, and recently has come out that she not only got cheated on by her man, but the way that she picked this man was very rushed. Like she didn't take any time to get to know this person. Like they had only known each other for less than a year by the time they got engaged, and the guy cheated on him, and now it's like creating all of this baby daddy drama. And it just makes me think, like, you could be giving out legitimate and good advice and still not follow your own advice. I know I'm guilty of that. Like, there are some videos that I made in the past, and now that I'm looking back on them, I'm like, wow, like, she knows what's up. And yet, me being the same person, I'm not necessarily following my own advice all the time. And so that's probably one of the biggest lessons that I've learned throughout my 30 years of life is just how humbling life can be, which can be a good thing. It's better to get humbled really early on in life. It's better to have hardship early on in life because now you can course correct. The worst thing that can happen is thinking that you know everything, thinking that you have everything figured out because your career is going well or because you have a little bit of money. I rather be humble and like always in a learning mode than, okay, I know everything, I don't need you to teach me. I always want to be coached, I always want to be corrected is the mindset that I have. Another thing that fundamentally changed how I look at aging and how I look at life in general is like 2 years ago, my friend who was kind of my age, like he was 37, about to be 38 when he passed away. And he passed away in such a violently fast manner. Nobody knew it was going to happen. Like, he died of a heart condition that we did not know of. And within seconds, he was gone. Like, he was not hospitalized. It literally just happened in a span of one day. And it really struck me how this idea of like, oh, being 30 is really young and you get to have your whole life in front of you. It's all an illusion. We don't know when we're dying. We don't know when it's going to be our last day. I sort of looked at life as this ongoing experiment where I get to take my time and just better myself constantly. Whereas now I sort of am forced to just take one day at a time, like take the day as is, because I don't know if I'm gonna have the next day, right? We truly don't know. And I don't say it in a like threatening way. I'm not trying to create existential crisis for you, but if anything, it makes me appreciate life and health even more. Like as long as you're healthy and your family is healthy and you take however much time you have not for granted, then you're wealthy. As cliche as it sounds, your health, your body truly is the one in a big number, right? You can have so many zeros, but if you don't have the initial one, you're not going to have millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. Again, I know it sounds cliche. So that's probably my second realization. And the third realization that I've had since turning 30 is that your upbringing or your parents, or rather your bad upbringing, your family trauma really is a constant lifelong ordeal. Obviously, you can distance yourself from it over time, but it gets to a point, right? I can't change them. Just like I can't change myself. People are set in their ways, especially after a certain age. In the past, I've had this subconscious belief that if I do this and that, then I can change them, or like I can teach my parents to be this way and that way. I can influence them this way and that way. Whereas now I've come to almost accept them as they are. And our goal is to coexist harmoniously and look for your mentor figures elsewhere. I used to take it so personally, even though I probably won't admit it. But internally and subconsciously, I would think, oh my God, what did I do? Like, if only I did this better, or if only I did that. Whereas now I'm just like, some people are just born differently. Some people are not wired properly, you know? And now that I've been around, now that I've been a little older, I've met people with even more questionable parenting. I've met people with like even more of a family trauma, and like it does bring everything into perspective. In some way, I've been abused less now after talking to so many people from all walks of life. Like the things that I've heard, like you would not believe. I've heard people, this one girl that I know, man, I just feel I could cry thinking about her. You know, some people spend their whole life trying to get over their family upbringing, and to some extent it's not so much about getting over them. It's about like rebuilding yourself and reparenting yourself and letting go of that narrative for good. And so I guess being 30 and getting a little older is that you start giving less of a fuck, is how it feels. Like you feel so much more free and untethered, and you don't feel this need to explain yourself or to be the nice guy. Like you're okay being a villain. That's how it feels. Like it's gonna get even more like this when I turn 40 or 50. I've heard the same kind of narrative, the same kind of sentiment from even older people. I have a lot of friends that are older than me. I have a lot of friends who are younger than me. And so it's interesting. Like I'm kind of in the middle. It's interesting to see both perspectives. The fourth thing, okay, this is the final thing that I picked up, is metrics, especially vanity metrics, vanity numbers, how many followers you have, how many likes you have. None of that stuff really matters. And this is coming from someone that has, depending on where you're watching me from, but this is coming from someone that has about 900,000 followers. On Bilibili at least. I've seen some people even turn it into another extreme where this one idea that they have is really good and therefore they think they're good and they can do no wrong and they can get away with things. For instance, this one girl on TikTok, she trademarked the term hot girl walk because during the pandemic, people were struggling to exercise because we weren't allowed to go to the gym, right? So you can only walk in outdoor areas, and people were creating a community. This girl came up with a really good idea, but where she kind of messed up a little bit is trademarking the term, which is a regular everyday expression. Now, several years later, you have her going on her social media claiming she invented walking. She invented the term hot girl walk. And she's banning anyone and everyone from using the term, even in a non-commercial fashion. So you have people creating Spotify playlists titled Hot Girl Walk, or creating their own group walking community, and they were all sent cease and desist letters. So it's like once you have a good idea and you put it out there, you almost have to recognize that a lot of it is not you. Like, this has very little to do with you. It has more to do with your message, your idea, and how it helps people. Like, we as content creators should think of ourselves as service staff. Like, essentially, we're serving people. The moment that you make it about yourself and how people like you, and it starts getting in your own head, is the moment that your downfall is coming. But that's a bit of an extreme example. I'm talking about, like, okay, so I have 100,000 followers or 900,000 followers, and sometimes my videos would do well, sometimes my videos won't do well. A lot of times it's not even based on the content. A lot of times it's based on the algorithm, right? If it was the old me, it would get to my head. It would stop motivating me from creating content. But now I've come to realize, one, it doesn't matter anyways. However many views I get doesn't necessarily equal how much money I make. So purely from a marketing perspective, from a logistical perspective, it doesn't matter in that sense. Like, I don't make money from it, so why am I stressing out about it, right? And two, I should serve me first. The content I want to make, I have to be proud of them. I have to be happy with them. I have to recognize the value in myself, in my videos first, before anyone watches it. And in some way, ironically, I kind of miss the time that I was anonymous and unknown, and I was just creating videos just because. Like, when I had 0 followers on TikTok, I was still making videos every single day because it's kind of fun, like, when nobody knows you, because you have no expectations. You're just creating because you have a lot of ideas that you want to put out. I feel uniquely qualified to speak on this, but like, growing up and growing old, aging, I don't know. But like, in terms of becoming a content creator, especially if you're navigating your first dip in your content creation journey, this is a video for you. Just stick it out. Don't worry if your metrics aren't corresponding with your efforts. Just create for yourself. Remember why you're doing this. Remember that you're a service worker. Not service worker, but like, you're serving people. It's not about you. It's about who is watching you, who you can help. As long as you remember that, you won't have any trouble like making a viable living from it. You won't have any trouble scaling your business, your content creation business, rather. I know everything sounds kind of vague. Let me know if you want me to expand on that, but this is just a general update video that I want to give you guys. I guess another thing that I want to mention is that I've been implementing some new changes. Like, in my room, I've gotten new furniture. This is just my bedroom, and I have a guest bedroom. I have an office. Maybe I'll do a room tour. But also my hair. I've dyed my hair brown, so that's why I wasn't posting as much. But yeah, now that I've had everything set up properly, my ideal setup, now I feel ready to post more and post more often. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions about anything that I said. If you want me to expand on anything, feel free to message me if you're going through something that you don't want to share in the comments. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, I guess. Bye bye.